How do you sound? You know, clickers are a great tool, but you don't always have one with you. And I really think that they're better for shaping a behavior in an older dog, older meaning over a year, than they are for training puppies. Um, I have two here. I have this one, which is a very quiet little clicker, and it has little beads on the end for counting. And um, I got this one when I learned to clicker train chickens. Now that was a challenge. And here is another clicker, which is much louder sound. So they're really great. They mark a behavior. But in training a puppy, I think because our voices are part of us and we want our puppies to get accustomed to our voices, um, we're better to use our voices to train our puppies. And a clicker doesn't give us any emotion whatsoever. So I'm all about using my voice to train a puppy. And I should say that one of the reasons that I started not using a clicker when I was first working with puppies is because I couldn't handle the clicker and the treats and stay focused. That was just my issue. Um, you know, you can communicate with your voice so very clearly. And you can be encouraging in your tone. You can be a warning in your tone. You can speak very sternly. Or you can speak with great excitement. And puppies learn to respond to all of those things. They want to hear us. Our voices help build the bond with our puppies that eventually turns into this great relationship that they want to have. So you're actually able to say, puppy, using his name, let's go in a normal tone. And they're so accustomed to reading our body language and our tone that they just get it. But right now, they have to get accustomed to our voices and to the tones of voice that we use. And they learn to understand that. And because they relate to our tone of voice, then they get it. That they've done something right because we're being excited or encouraging, or that they've done something wrong because we're saying, or off, or leave it, or hopefully we're not saying no. That's not my favorite word. And so you use different tones of voice. If you want your puppy to come, you would say, puppy, come. And if you're moving a little bit away from him in the opposite direction, he's far more likely to come. If you want your puppy to stay, you you would say, puppy, stay, as opposed to puppy, stay. And if you want your puppy to leave it, I use the word off, then I would say, I use a very stern or authoritative tone, and I'd say, puppy, off. And when going for a leash walk, I want to generate some enthusiasm, so I'd say, let's go, puppy, let's go. Now, of course, you have to use your tone of voice for all of these things, but it's also important that you must teach your dog what these words mean: come and stay and off and let's go. They don't come knowing English. We must teach them those things. So, if you want your puppy to stay, you're serious. You say, puppy, stay. If you want your puppy to come, you need to sound exciting, so you say, puppy, come. If you really mean it, you want to sound stern and authoritative, so you would say, puppy, off. And if you want puppy to do something with you, like go for a walk, you'd say, let's go. You know, you can use, in addition to using your voice, which I think is your best tool, and your tone of voice can be such a good indicator to your puppy, it's a really good idea to use very high value treats in your training, particularly if you're training come. You always have to be more exciting than the thing that has pup's attention at the moment. I have a young man that comes to puppy playtime on Sundays, and in the last 9 months, he's taught his pup to do some pretty amazing things, and he doesn't mess around with treats. He always has chicken or yesterday's roast beef, and he reminds me very much of the young trainer in New Orleans, Zach George, who always uses turkey. It works. You can also use a toy either as a reward or to arouse curiosity. And this one, the one that's in the picture, is one I call Roger Roadkill. And the reason it works as a to arouse curiosity is because it does this. to tell you the truth, I don't know one single puppy that doesn't respond to this particular toy. Um, so you can get his curiosity aroused if you're going for a leash walk and he's not paying attention. You can just whip this out of your pocket, and the joy of this is that you can carry it in your pocket because it's flat. It has no stuffing. They're great little pocket toys, and they seem to always generate a reaction. You can, as you're using your tone of voice to generate some enthusiasm, you can move your body in a playful way, like jumping away or stepping quickly. And of course, you can play games to enforce your training, to reinforce your training. And you might wonder what games? Well, really and truly, you can play any games that you can think of. Fetch, Go To and Come, which is a great game to play with several people, especially if there's kids involved. And another one that's great for kids, and you can play it in the house on a rainy day, is Hide and Seek, where an adult restrains the puppy and the children are sent off to hide, of course with treats in their pocket. Other adults too, if they want to. And then the adult who's restraining the pup says, uh, calls out and tells one of the hiders to call the puppy. And when the puppy gets to them, they give him a treat and they make a big fuss. Wow, clever. What a clever dog. What a clever dog. And then you start all over again. And that gets puppy coming to a variety of places in your house or outside. There are other ideas for games that you can play to help reinforce your training in the Puppy Nanny's Guide to Training Your Puppy. In addition to that, in addition to games, there are lots of very clearly outlined how-tos to train your puppy to do all sorts of things like sit, come, stay, heel, follow, and the other basic good manners that you want your puppy to have. And there's some other interesting information in there as well. So do grab your copy at JudeThePuppyNanny.com, and it is only $14.99 plus shipping, and you will have it with you. You can leave it on the counter, you can mark it up, you can highlight pages. It's handy. It's a very handy addition if you have a puppy or even if you have a dog. You know, dogs read us like a book. They don't read, but they read us like a book. They respond to our body language, as I'm sure you've already noticed if you're a dog owner, that you think you're only thinking about going for a walk, but before you've even moved out of your chair, your dog is at the door. You've done some unconscious body motions that your pup has already understood long before you get to your feet and suggest to him that it might be a good idea to go for a walk. And since talking is what we do, some of us more than others, our voices are with us all the time, and it seems to me just the common sense way to communicate with our dogs. And when you do, in fact, communicate with them, like you talk to them, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to encourage you, and I'm going to show you how to do it, and, kind of have a little puppy patter going on, then I believe they understand us far better than we know. And certainly they learn to understand our tone of voice when they're doing something we don't want them to do. And the best way to stop them from doing things that we don't want them to do is to stop them when we see them thinking about it. And if you're watching your dog, you literally can see him thinking about doing that thing. So that would be when you'd say, Now, if in fact he's already doing the thing that you don't want, and you've taught him, for example, the word off, let's say he's jumping up, then you would change your tone of voice and you would say, puppy, using his name, off. I did mention earlier, and I'll say it again, you must train the behaviors that you want. There's no point in just telling them what you want if they have no idea what it is you're asking. So you're going to use your voice because you always have it with you. You're going to use your voice because it has so many different tones to indicate your joy, your pleasure, your displeasure, your enthusiasm, and certainly you're going to use your voice and you're to have fun. That's it for this time. Ruff!